Welcome to Canada's podcast, the number one podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs.
Hi everyone, I'm with Marc-Antoine Caya, co-founder and CEO of GoPeer. Thanks for being with us today with Marc-Antoine.
Hi Sandra, thanks for having me on the show today.
Wonderful. So let's dive right in. Tell us more about your story.
Awesome. So my name is Marc. I'm the CEO and co-founder of GoPeer. I'm from Quebec. I come from the Eastern Townships. Grew up and lived most of my life in Quebec. Studied at University of Sherbrooke in business. Then I moved to London, England, where I did a master's there at the London School of Economics. After that, I moved to Montreal, where I worked in investment banking for a few years. And then I moved to Toronto as part of my career in investment banking. Then, while I was a banker, one of my job or a deal that I was working on, I remember, was for that client where we were issuing convertible debenture. So that's a high yielding investment product that can convert into equity if certain conditions are met. And I thought that personally that was a great investment product for my own personal investment portfolio. And I realized that this type of product is completely non-accessible to individuals like you and I. Only big financial institutions, asset managers can benefit. Essentially, you need to have a trading desk to have access to those opportunities. And I thought, wow, that's a massive problem. Why do Canadians like you and I cannot access, a broader array of financial product for their investment portfolio? And that's led me to start GoPeer. So essentially, on one hand, I realized that it's very difficult as an individual investor to access high yield fixed income investment product. While on the other hand, as I was studying the market, I realized that there was a huge gap on the personal lending space, where if you have banks, but if you don't qualify for a bank, there's almost no one until you get to companies that charge incredibly high rates. And there's a huge gap between what banks have to offer and what non-bank lenders have to offer. And GoPeer fits very well in this gap. And actually, maybe I should take one step back and tell you about what we're building at GoPeer. So what we're doing at GoPeer is that we operate a peer-to-peer, many-to-many lending platform. So we make responsible lending accessible to everyone. On one hand, we allow individuals who are looking for a loan, can be for consolidating their debt, or for home improvement loans, or paying down their credit card, for example. And on the other hand, we're enabling individuals like you and I with a little extra cash, a little of savings, to invest in fractions of those loans. So you can start investing with a little bit of money, let's say $1,000, that you spread across 100 borrowers, for example, to diversify your risk and earn the returns similar to how a bank would traditionally do it. So we're revolutionizing the personal lending space and making it accessible to everyone.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about your journey as an entrepreneur.
Oh, well, as an entrepreneur, I started about 2 years ago when I left my full-time job at the bank. So I used to work in banking, and I remember I was working on a deal with a client where we were issuing some high-yield convertible securities, and I thought that was a great investment for my own personal portfolio. And I figured, wow, okay, I'm going to invest in something similar to that. And then I realized it was just not available at all to individuals. So just for a little background, most fixed income products or corporate debt, they're as an investment product, is only available to financial institutions or big players with a trading desk, and it's not really available to smaller guys like us. So that's one that I thought was a major issue. I wanted to fix that, and that's how the idea for GoPeer was born about 2 years ago. And while doing some research, I identified there was a huge gap in the personal lending space, which maybe we can discuss a little bit later. And there seemed to be a perfect fit between high yield investment and helping people out with affordable loans, and that's how we decided to start GoPeer, which makes responsible lending accessible to everyone. And maybe if I take one step back and tell you a little bit more about what we are doing at GoPeer. So what we do, we are a financial technology company, and we make responsible lending accessible to all Canadians. So on one hand, we connect individuals like you and I that are looking for a loan with other individuals that are looking to invest, and we are operating a true peer-to-peer, many-to-many investment platform or lending platform.
Wonderful. And I think, so you've had a couple of clients, not a couple, you had close to thousands of clients from what I've read. It's like, what feedback have you gotten from people using this? Because it might be quite a new reality for them, not to have to go to a bank, but actually go to someone on a secure platform, and someone that they don't know will lend them money, and vice versa. So what do people say about this new concept?
Lots of things. You're right. We're still a new company. We're a few months in, but we already have a few thousands of users, and we've heard tons of different feedback. I mean, we launched during the time of COVID, and if you want to take out a loan at a bank, you still need to show up in person, book an appointment, show up, fill out the paperwork. So I think our offering was very attractive to a lot of people that did not want to take the risk of going out. And our application process on the borrower side is very seamless. It takes a few minutes and you're done. It's 100% technology driven. And we do all the identity verification, the paperwork, the legal paperwork, the income verification, and everything is automated and done through our system. So we've received a lot of feedback where it's, they appreciate that there's a new service that makes loan affordable. Unlike most traditional non-bank lenders where the rates are incredibly high, we're bringing a lot more responsible lending and affordable approach to loans outside of banks, while mixing it with technology to making it seamless and fast. So I think we've had a lot of people appreciating that and commenting on that. Another sort of feedback we're receiving as well from our users is how we're helping them get out of debt. So we've got a lot of people with like credit card loans, like credit card balances, or consolidating debt from like non-bank lenders, and they come to GoPeer, and we're able to consolidate their debt, refinance it in a way that they save monthly. On average, our borrowers save $75 per month through lower repayments, so that makes a massive difference. So that's that's always great to hear success stories like this. Or some of our clients are self-employed. We have some Uber drivers that have a really hard time to get funding through traditional sources. And when we come to GoPeer with our technology, we're able to underwrite their loans pretty quickly and offer them attractive rates. And that goes for both sides. I mean, I'm mostly talking about the borrower side, but we've got a lot of investors as well. And what we're seeing on the investor side, there's people like you and I that that just want to have some extra cash, that want to start saving. And what's attractive to them is that lending, when you invest through GoPeer, you're essentially lending money to someone, and you lend in fractions of loans. So it's an investment product that is very easy to understand. It's simple. Everyone knows how a loan works. So that's very attractive to a lot of sort of everyday investors. And we also have some more sophisticated investors, some hedge fund managers, some financial advisors and finance professionals that are really attracted to the asset class, which is high yield, fixed income, monthly passive income type of investment as well.
So let's say we take a step back from the business itself, but like, what difference do you think it will make in, like you just started? So what difference do you think it will make in the economy, in people's life? As you say, people are saving, other people are having more affordable or accessible investment opportunities. Like, what is your vision for shaping the economic landscape of Canada?
That's awesome. Well, I think wherever we are, saying like 5 to 10 years from now, whether it's on the borrower side or the investor side, our goal really is to help Canadians achieve their financial objectives. And our ultimate goal is that we help borrowers consolidate their loan and get out of debt faster through lower repayments, get out of debt faster, so that eventually they can become investors on the platform and help others do the same. if we're able to do this at scale across the country, that would be amazing.
Great. And it seems like you know a lot about the financial sector, especially because of your job before. But like, do you see yourself as a serial entrepreneur who's going to change the landscape of finance in Canada in many different ways? Or you have the vision for yourself of making the most out of GoPeer? Like, do you have, like, I know it's early, but do you have this type of vision for your personal life as an entrepreneur?
That's a good question. Right now, I'm 100% focused on GoPeer, and I haven't really thought about what's next. I mean, we're just getting started on GoPeer, and there's still so much that we can do. So that's where I am right now. But definitely love the entrepreneurial side of the business on most times. Sometimes I don't like it at all.
Yeah, what don't you like about the entrepreneurial life right now?
Well, no, I mean, it's just there's a lot of highs, a lot of lows, which I guess that's what you sign up for when you start your own business. But no, overall, I really enjoy the sort of the the lifestyle, I guess, that comes with it, or the what's involved with starting your own business.
And have you seen that you've had to develop some competencies or abilities that you might not have had in your previous career that you had to develop very quickly in your
Yes,
business?
100%. So GoPeer, we operate in an area that's highly regulated. So we had to get up to speed with securities law, with consumer protection statutes, financial crime law, money laundering. So the legal side was really, really heavy, and there was a huge learning curve on that front. That was definitely could be more particular to our business, for our industry, but certainly something that we had to learn very quickly. I think there's also a lot of leadership, more style, or more EQ related skills as well that I've been learning and developing myself more as an individual that I didn't really have in my previous role as a banker.
And if I were to ask your teammates, like, what would they say about you as a leader of the company?
Oh, you have to ask them.
Great. And so you're from Quebec. You're from Quebec. You moved to Toronto for your previous career. Like, do you have any plan to going, and now you're in Toronto, so do you have any plans going back to Quebec? Your business is online. Like, do you see that there is a reason why you would move physically somewhere else in Canada, or you think that Toronto is the place to be for running your online business?
Well, Toronto certainly is a great place for running startups, but so is Montreal. I would personally love to go back to Montreal eventually, but I fell in love in Toronto. I found a partner here, so it makes it a little bit harder to to leave the city. But hopefully, I mean, the startup ecosystem is very young in the country, in Canada, and it's growing very quickly here in Toronto. It's growing quickly in Montreal. It's also growing in Vancouver and in various other areas. So we'll see where we are, where we'll be in the future. But certainly, I'd love to go back to Quebec, later in my life.
And if you had advice to give to people like you, had a good secure job in finance in Toronto, wanting to start a business, like, what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say do it. It's amazing. I think, especially if you can afford to start on the side, even launch the business while you still have your full-time job. I think that's ideal. So you're not taking that much risk. I mean, there's always a lot of risk involved with starting your own company, but the more you can do while you have your job, I think that's the best, because there's always the financial aspect. And if you have a partner that is understanding and wants to help you going through that, I think that's really, really important as well. But yeah, if you have, if think you're into something, you have passion, you have the drive, I think those are probably the most important ones. Then do it.
And is there anything that any podcasts, books, people, mentors, associations, like anyone or anything that help you get up to speed with, like launching your business really quickly?
Oh, there's definitely tons. Just a few books that comes to mind very quickly. There's one that I really like. It's called Hard Things About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. There's the High Growth Handbook that's very helpful as well. There's a book called Traction that I really liked. In terms of podcasts, Canada Podcast is amazing. Of course, FinTech Cadence, but it was more in the FinTech space. They're also really good as well. No, I think we have a lot of resources here in Canada, and it's growing. There's also a lot of programs like incubator programs, accelerator programs for the pre, the very early stage when it's still just an idea. That that GoPeer, we've been through a few, and I thought that was extremely helpful.
Great. And what and we know that, like, especially in Montreal, let's say for fintech or AI, or in Toronto, like, these programs are quite competitive. Like, what do you think helped people to get this type of resource to help them to start the business? Like, what should they say, or what should they do, or what should they put forward to help them get into these competitive programs?
I think you just need to be yourself, be authentic, because at the end of the day, this is all relationships, and you'll be working with those people regularly. So you want to be yourself and make sure there's a good fit. And it's on both sides. You don't want to partner with someone that you don't like, or pretend to be someone else to get selected. I think just be authentic, be yourself, have a lot of passion in what you do, and yeah, if the program is very competitive and you're not able to get in, then maybe that was not the best fit for you. And that's actually one thing that I've learned as an entrepreneur. I did learn it way back when I was on the dating scene to get rejected, but that certainly came back big time when I started GoPeer.
That's funny. Yeah, and where do you go? What do you do? We've talked a lot about your business. We know your early stage, so I'm sure that most of your life. But where do you go in Toronto, or what do you love to do to help you to kind of like take a step back, think maybe about your business, but actually get out of your environment to maybe think clearer? Like, is there something that you do or a place that you like to go for that?
I like to take walks. Take walks with my dog, or go to the park. But there's not much we can do right now, right? We're like now Toronto's back in lockdown, so there's really not much.
Yeah, it's actually, I agree that it's a weird question in these weird times. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Great. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share, or advice that you'd like to give to people listening to us who are maybe interested in starting their entrepreneurial journey, who are in or in the financial industry or in fintech, and they're already started, but maybe there's something that you can teach them or share with them that would make a difference?
Well, I think for first thing, which might be obvious, I think you shouldn't do this for the money. No one should do this for the money. They'll be extremely disappointed, especially in the first few years. But yeah, I think if you're passionate, for myself, I knew I would regret it if I didn't try it. It's been my dream since I'm a kid, and I knew I would regret it. So personally, in my life, was the right time to just jump right in and build your wings after you've jumped, right? So maybe that so far it's been working well for myself, and it's kind of scary at first, and you wonder if you're stupid or crazy, and probably a little bit of both. But yeah, I think just do it.
Just do it.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
And if people want to reach out to you to connect, ask you questions, or learn more about GoPeer, where should they go?
Yeah, they can reach out. They can reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, or go on gopeer.ca, and poke around, and just call on the number there. We're a small team, so I answer on many of the phone calls. If it's not me, they can just ask to talk to me. But yeah. Yeah, and if people are interested, you can go take a look at gopeer.ca, poke around. It's free to create an account, whether you want to be an investor or you're looking for a loan. It's free to poke around, and we always love to. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for making it for taking the leap of faith and making a difference in people's life with new financial solutions. So I think it's great. Good luck with your entrepreneurial journey that you started a couple of months ago. So really hope the best. And thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Thanks for having me.